people of the world. It's good to see ya. We already got some, baby. Let's go, Carl. What's up, man? It's good to see ya in here. Already smashed the like. Jimmy Bright, he lives here. He lives here. We got just a couple of minutes, but we got a lot to talk about. It looks like the market is trading sideways currently, riding that 10-day moving average, looking really, really good. We want to continue to see this sideways action as we build up pressure. And we're going to go through that. We're going to go through the ETF, the Mag 7, and of course, your beefy stew watch list and charting platform by TradingView. And then, of course, we have the leaders watch list for you as well. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know about you, but today was an absolutely beautiful day outside. The weather was perfect. A little chilly in the morning, sweatshirt weather, turning into nice warm weather. Washed and detailed the vehicle. Absolutely love it. I am pumped that everybody's here. It looks like we got about 30 seconds and we're gonna get started. I am just, I gotta say, the overall sentiment with the groups that I watch for the momentum swing traders, they are very, very bullish. I'm not at all inclined to think that we can go straight up or trade sideways. There might be some pullbacks. There might be some issues. So that's why we always focus on that risk management. And as we focus on that, we need to look at this in both bear and bull views. And it's exactly what we're going to do today. So I'm pumped that you guys are here. Let's go ahead and drop this weekly intro, baby. Let's go. All right. What's going on, baby? I am pumped to be here today. And of course, the very first thing I want to talk about is this NASDAQ. We opened up a little lower than where we closed. Huge wicks off the bottom, huge wicks off the bottom. Looks like this 21-day moving average is holding its support as well as this 10-day moving average. So things are looking good for the overall NASDAQ. And you can see here the gap down on the open is just squatting on that 10-day. And we've been drifting up and down right in that area, that tight area. Now, aside from this big pullback and this big uptick here, if this were where we were closing, I would say we were squatting down. That looks really, really tight, right? But we want to see some inside days, right? Now, the ETFs are a little bit different. We want to usually see these on the momentum stocks that we're looking at, but it is still nice to see it. Well, this is wide and choppy, as you know, you can see the overall NASDAQ 5.42% range inside this box here. You know, this Darvis box type deal we have here. And when we look at something like this, well, we can still trade within this 5% range for weeks to come. So we do need to keep that in mind, as well as, well, this is working itself out. We have a lot to go over. There's a lot going on in the overall market, a lot of setups. And I know that you guys have voted already on the poll. There's 8 votes so far, and we have 8 of you watching, so thank you very much. But if you're just joining me at a later time, make sure you hit that like and subscribe, because we do this every Sunday. And then, of course, the Beef Stew and I, we have our chats on Wednesday. We study on Wednesdays. We read out loud on Wednesdays with each and every one of you. Norman Conklin is in the building. What's going on, Norman? Thank you so much for showing up, being here, and doing your homework with us. Torqued is in the building. Very happy to see you in here. We absolutely love Torque's ideas in the Discord. And of course, if you want to be a part of the Discord, you gotta work a little bit to get in there. I'm not gonna tell you how to get in, but you do need an invite now. It is invite only. We are cutting back on all the noise, and we only want the people with an open mind and a golden heart. You have to be willing to work, and I promise you, anybody that's asking for spoon feds getting deleted, and I don't mean that in a mean way, I just don't want to hear any more noise. And if you have been in the market at all for any period of time, you know canceling noise out and only focusing on your process and your strategy is key to success in this, with many, many other rules. What's up? G is in the building. G, it's good to see you. Good to see you. The old Beefy Stew, our moderator, is in the building, and Zamora has showed up. Thank you so much for being here, guys. All right, I think we're all here. Let's jump right into this, because we need to make sure, of course, did we see any changes in old Papa Powell?
Interest rates with Jerome Powell.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so of course, This is the CME Fed tool, June 25th. This right here is 95.4% that we stay, right? So we're going to move on to July. Now we're starting to see some possibilities of a rate decrease. September, we're actually starting to see a possibility for one rate cut. We start heading to October, you'll start to see we have an increased probability of 2 cuts, and then jumping to December, you will see here that our probability to being at least 2 cuts is 40.3%. Now, of course, if we look at the other probability, we have a 30% current chance right now that we will have 3 rate cuts at 0.25%. That is nice to know because the last time we looked at this, you could see our probability for those 3 rate cuts was drastically getting cut. We still have a chance to get those 3, but I think we have accepted, and it's already been introduced to the market a while ago, that we are only going to have those 2 rate cuts. And if you guys were with me 2 weeks ago, we were actually first to see this. We seen this happen after the NASDAQ, after all the news, everything came out, and we seen the change. You were hearing it here first, but you did not see that so much in the overall market. So it was nice to see it was already really priced in there, because I really expected the overall market to take that a little bit more serious, or have at least a bigger pullback there. So with that being said, folks, we are still only looking at 2 rate cuts, possibility of 3 rate cuts, but with the news to come, we will see what happens there. And with that being said, we could take a look at our economic calendar while we're right here, and we'll see what's going to happen this week in the overall market. Because these are very, very volatile times. Now, Fed Chair Worrell, he's going to speak. I believe this is around 2 p.m. Let's see what he's going to be chatting about. And of course, JOLTS is going to be on Tuesday, non-farm payroll on Wednesday. You have non-manufacturing PMI on Wednesday, initial jobless claims on Thursday, and non-farm payroll and unemployment rate on June 6th, Friday. So what is old Papa Powell chatting about? The Federal Reserve Jerome Powell is to speak as head of the Fed, which controls short-term interest rates. He has more influence over the U.S. market, dollar, blah, 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 blah. It doesn't actually say in here what he is doing. So we could probably go to his, we'll have to take a little peeky gander. Sometimes these speeches are just to students and stuff like that. But if he says something, we'll have to look more into exactly what he'll be talking about here, because I know that this isn't, they're going to be talking about rate hikes or cuts. Let's see. Ton of FUD on X. Rumors that Powell is stepping down tomorrow. Yeah, B. Stewie actually brought that up to me. You guys, I highly doubt that he's going to be stepping down. There's no reason for him to step down. He's stated many, many times that he wouldn't be stepping down and that he would see through his term. Okay, so whatever the rumors are, you know, let them fly. But until we see it in the charts and there's uncertainty in the market, who cares? That's how I feel. But of course, you know, put it in the back of your head. What could happen? It's fun to speculate. Libby Franchuk, what is going on? Libby Franchuk, I think you shortened your name, didn't you? I think you had your hubby on there maybe, and it was a very long name, and I really enjoyed saying it. But we'll just call you Libby Franchuk from now on, but it's good to see you. All right, so that's what we got going on, guys. Nothing too crazy, but definitely things to pay attention. They're usually coming out with those volatile news segments around 8:30 in the morning, so just keep that on there. And if I just go to investing.com/economic calendar right here, if you guys ever want to take a peeky gander for yourself, go ahead and save this. I'll put it in the chat for you so that way you have it yourself. Of course, we always want to train or learn to be self-reliant. So now that you have the information and you know where to find it, you have no excuse now to not know what's going on in the overall market. Now, another thing that we like to just take a peeky gander at, but of course, this is just information that we instill in the back of our head. This is just kind of noise in a sense, but we're choosing which noise we want to listen to have an overall understanding of what the market is looking at, right? We're not using this to take a trade is what I'm saying. We're not saying, oh, well, the social sentiment has increased by 2.9%, so therefore the market is going to go green. No, we're just looking at the social sentiment. So the end of the last week, you can see the social sentiment had started to decrease a little bit. Now, the social sentiment over the whole past week or two here has been low. It's been bearish. Well, what has the market done? Well, the overall market has came up the past 2 weeks, and the overall sentiment is still bearish. What does that tell me? Well, when I look at something like this, it tells me, very honestly, that if the overall bearish sentiment is still there, that is a very good sign for us bulls. That shows that there are still shorts that are still shorting the market. There are still people that don't believe in this rally, and there are still people holding back. When those people start to flip and they start to panic and they start to buy back in and they start to add in and they start to hop on board with the rest of us, that's going to help capitulate the buying even higher. So people have to catch up. People need to sell into the people that are buying. We're going to see pullbacks. We're going to see sideways action, and then we'll see more capitulatory action after we tighten up. So this tells me that there are still bears out there, and that's what I like to see because that will help capitulate things higher. And as we head higher, I'm sure we're going to start to see more bullish sentiment as more people start to buy in there. Alrighty, that's my thoughts, not yours. Make sure you're not using these to take any trades, folks. These are just social sentiments that we leave in the back of our minds so we understand how the overall market is doing. Before we carry on with our next segment, which is going to be the ETF and SPY review, I want to know, where are you from and what was the temperature? Do me a favor, guys, throw that in the chat. I really want to know where each and every one of you are from. I think I know where most of you are, but regardless, let me know what the temperature was there. Today was a absolute glorious 70-something day out here. It was beautiful in the sun. We cleaned the pool. We washed the vehicles. Everything was absolutely phenomenal. Thank you, Beef Stewie. He just posted the link tree in the comment section. If you haven't already seen the link tree, it's plain Mary Jane. But if you want to find me on X or use the trading platform that I use, that's TradingView, you can click on this, download the Essential plan that actually gives me a little kickback each month. If you want to do that, you're more than welcome to support me. And then, of course, if you want to follow me on a more personal level, I post in Snapchat, a couple times a week, and you can see what my life is like through Snapchat there. And you're more than welcome to shoot me a message on there as well. So we will see you guys there. Now, we have to look at the overall market. And when we do that, we're looking at usually ETFs. But I want to go deeper into ETFs. And I want to look at specific sectors. And we're going to go through the specific sectors right now. And we're going to see how those sectors could shape up and also help bring the market higher. Let's check it out.
This is your ETF and S&P 500 review.
All right, guys, this is your ETF and SPY review. We got the temperatures coming in. I'll be the weatherman for just a moment. But just remember, when we go through this ETF and SPY review, we are only looking at these to help understand a broader term of the market, to see whether things are shaping up in some areas or if they're not in others, and trying to catch rotation early when we start to see things turn around. Let's check the temperatures out there. What's up? What's up? Norman Conklin's in Massachusetts. He said today was 65. Absolutely perfect. 65, between 60 and 65 is like perfect sweatshirt weather. And then you get to work and you start to work up a lather. You can take off the sweatshirt and you can cool down in the actual ambient air. And it's a beautiful thing. I love sweatshirt weather. So today you had a beautiful day out there. Jimmy Bright, North Carolina, 58 in the morning and 76 today. That is perfect. That's exactly how it was here for us today. Maybe not as warm as 76, but we have warmer temperatures on the way. So good to see. I hope you enjoyed every damn minute of it. Jimmy G says, Montreal, the old Canadian up there. Temperature here sucks, he says. He's not even going to tell us. He got done shoveling snow this morning, and he's got another foot laying down up there on Canada on the sidewalks right now. Damn Canucks. Northwest Ohio, my boy Beefy Stewie says 68 degrees, man. What a beautiful day out today in Libby, Franchuk, mid-Tennessee. It was absolutely gorgeous here today, she says. Sorry, didn't check the temp. It's okay. It don't matter what the temperature was as long as you enjoyed the hell out of it. Carl Burr, Hamilton, Ontario. But I was our capital, Ottawa, and it rained for about 10 Celsius. Oh, man. Well, you know what? Rain. You know what the rain brings. For me, that's money. I like to cut loan and make a little extra cash on the side. So let it rain, baby. Let it rain. All right, guys, so let's just hop into this. We already went over the NASDAQ, but I just want to point out here, we had this huge run. A consolidation of 5% at the top and low. There's 5% in between here. As long as this thing trades sideways within this range, we're still going to be looking good. We just want to see it tighten up. Yes, it is tightening up here, but we aren't getting any kind of inside days. It's wide and choppy right now. The market is volatile still. I mean, this is volatile. This is very volatile. Okay, we got a V-shaped bottom here, folks. You know, we want to see some sideways action to let some of the people that got in at the bottom sell off, to let some of the new guys come in, start buying up, and we want to see kind of, you know, what the overall rest of the market's looking like, because if there's other inclinations that we have that are weak, well, we need to keep an eye on those because they could help bring the market down. Let's take a look at Bitcoin while we're here, folks. Bitcoin holding up above a 21-day moving average, trading at 105,658 right now, creating a beautiful cup with handle. This is absolutely gorgeous. It's within that 30% or close enough in my book to consider this a William O'Neill's cup and handle. If this trend starts to break out, you can bet your bottom dollar there's going to be more than just me keeping an eye on that and then using other derivatives to try and buy in to help capitulate our money faster. So keep an eye on this beautiful cup with handle. Watch the trend and watch the basing breakout right there at the top. That's what we want to see. We want to see it bounce up, get to that 110 area, kind of trade sideways, get really tight. With contraction comes expansion. So keep a close eye on that. And while you guys are here, you got 15 of you here, hit that like button for me, right meow. We're trying to get our viewers up. If you appreciate what I do, it's all for free. I'm not asking you for a dime, just a like. Give me a like me, like you. Let's go. Next is the IWM, and we were chatting about this, Yosef and I, in our Discord about IWM. It is such a lagger, and it's been such a lagger, I mean, for years, guys. I mean, past 5-6 years. I mean, this thing has just been lagging the overall market, and you can see the sideways action is just garbage. We got this V-shaped bottom off this low, which is nice, but we're still below a 200-day moving average. So if we're looking for any issues in this overall market, I would say the first and foremost would be the small cap stocks are not celebrating much at all. We're below a 200-day moving average. So keep a very close eye on that. Now, the positive sign on this, because you know I'm a bear with bull horns, is that if we're not seeing IWM doing anything right now, but the rest of the market is being drug higher, then we actually have a chance to see IWM help lift up some of that weight as some of the already gone or some of the already capitulatory sectors start to ease off and they take those profits. As they take those profits, we are going to hope to see IWM shape up and start to head to the north side. So we'll see, we'll watch as it starts to hold this 21-day moving average. So if it is a lagger, we might see IWM start to follow what the NASDAQ has already done. As the NASDAQ trades sideways, it would be beautiful to see small caps start to catch up. We'll see very soon. Dow Jones Industrial under quite similar circumstances as it's still below a 200-day moving average, but of course, it's not nearly as bad. It's just bumping its head up underneath that 200-day moving average, whereas the IWM is much, much lower. So keep an eye. This is your grandfather's big boats, your Coca-Colas, your Amazons, anything humongous this thing is in it. So keep an eye on that. Well, we're going to run through the overall sector ETFs. And if there is a sector out there that you like to watch specifically, like for me, I like to watch these cybersecurity stocks. I know for our boy Beef Stewie, he loves the aerospace and defense stocks. Let me know in the chat right now if there is a specific sector that you keep an eye on. Let me know whether it is a sector or a subsector, a sector within a sector. Let me know what you like to watch, whether it's now or whether it's, over the course of your career. Let me know in the chat. I really am curious. I'd like to know if there's a couple of subsectors out there that I haven't been keeping an eye on that I should be. Some of people right now are very excited about gold. Gold is absolutely going bonkers, and we can take a look at that right now before we go crazy. Now, if you guys remember, I called the top on gold because as William O'Neill states, we start to see top when we start to get these big gap ups and we don't get to see them. Well, there's a bunch of gap ups, and nothing to kind of pull back and retest this unanswered volume area. Well, now here we are retesting it. If this just trades sideways and continues to trend, well, then this is the top, but it is not the forever top. Okay, when I call tops like this, I'm just saying this is too much. It's gone too high, too fast. It's too extended. We called the top here. I'm not bitching or bragging about this, guys. I'm just saying, I happened to call the top on this. It did happen to pull back, and now it's trading sideways. Will this ship shape up? It very well could, as we are identified off the 50-day moving average multiple times. It's been getting bought up. So keep an eye on your gold stocks, as you might start to see some beautiful trend breaks happening in your account soon. Let's see, we got XLY. We already looked at the technology. So consumer discretionary is above the 200 and trading sideways. XRT is retail, just getting above the 200-day moving average, looking very healthy in this area. This is your tech and software above the 200-day moving average, above the 21-day moving average, and just bouncing its head off this trending area. Now, if you look, the last two times it got up into this area, it smacked into it and pulled back. Now, remember, this is expanded tech software sector. Okay, this is the ETF. The next time it came up again, then we form our trend line on it, and look, it hit its head, but it hung out. It pulled back, but it stayed and followed its moving averages. Now look, it's starting to get back up here again. I'm almost willing to bet if we get a break on volume right in this Mickey Ficky right here, bada bing, bada boom, you'll be making money soon. Just keep a close eye on that, guys. These are my best case scenarios, and a lot of my best case scenarios have come into fruition. A lot of them haven't. But that's why we use proper risk management here, because if we're finding an area like this 105 and it breaks above this area and you can find the proper software stocks, then you're going to be making big money. So look for those basing breakouts in those software stocks. Here is KRE. This is a regional banking ETF. This is your smaller regional banking. It's under the 200-day moving average. Now, we're not talking about financials just yet. Just keep that in mind. Now, this is your biotech. Guys, there are a lot of small cap biotechs running. I know, I get it. You can see it, pharmaceuticals, therapeutics, some healthcare technology stocks. But when you're looking at biotech specifically, not the subcategory, but biotech in a whole, it's one of the worst ETFs you can trade right now. It's very, very bad. And it was leading this market down and has not been resilient on the V-shaped bottom coming back up, okay? Keep an eye on the real estate, still below a 200-day moving average, so not looking very, very healthy. Materials below a 200-day moving average. Healthcare, another one of the worst looking stocks out there. So keep in mind, biotech and healthcare, garbage banana doo-doos, okay? Flaming hot diarrhea garbage, okay? I know you guys love hearing that, right? Here is the RSP. So this is the equally weighted. We actually seen last week that it could get up and stay up above the 200-day moving average. And it looks like just somebody drowning right now, just trying to keep their head above the water, right? So hopefully the lifeboat will come and take this thing much, much higher because we want to see our equally weighted. We want to see our equally weighted S&P 500 heading up higher, because if you see, this is your S&P 500 here. It's not equally weighted. It's not. You can see Microsoft takes up a huge chunk. Google does, Meta, Netflix, NVDA, Apple, Amazon, these are big portions of the S&P 500. Now, we want to see other portions, the smaller portions, and be equally weighted. So everything in here weighs the same in here, because we want to see the rest of the overall market starting to rise with it. And you can see here, it's starting to shape up. It doesn't look like a biotech. It doesn't look like a healthcare. It is starting to shape up. So that looks really, really well. Now, energy, if you guys haven't been following energy. Energy has been talked about quite a bit. There's been talks on nuclear, there's been talks on coal, gas, all different types of energy. But we have been looking at the ETF and the chart, and it's been really just trading sideways, and it finally broke below that 200-day moving average that's now declining. So overall, the energy sector is not looking hot at all, and I don't really care for it. Now, we can look at the subsector, which is nuclear. Now, nuclear has gone nuclear. This thing went from a low V-shaped bottom and helped lead some of this charge to the north side. Now it's at the all-time high, and I think if we really want to see sustainable buying power in the nuclear field, what we're going to want to see really is some sideways action. Believe it or not, folks, things need to cool down. They cannot go straight up in the air. They cannot do it, I promise you. And you might argue with me, well, Dave, have you looked at RGC? Oh, okay, well, I guess some things do go straight up in the air, don't they? Don't be caught playing with this. If I see anybody trading this RGC, I'm telling you, you're gambling, okay? No, it's a gamble. You're not a trader, you're a gambler. Stay away from this. I mean, look at the volume on this fucking thing. Excuse my language. Average volume, 99,000 shares, guys. That's disgusting. That's disgusting. We don't want to do that. On the other note, the aerospace and defense, as you guys know, our boy Beefy Stewie has been covering this, hell, since his inception. He's been absolutely just crazy about aerospace and defense. And, you know, he has been right to keep a close eye on it. Very, very, especially in these times with war and all that stuff, you can see that they are using the heck out of drones and aerospace defense. Aerospace defense is definitely one of our best looking ETFs that are out there. One of our best looking. Matter of fact, it's a little extended from that 10-day moving average. So keep an eye on that, okay? Let's see a few more. This is the insurance ETF. You can see we're just trading sideways. I'll show you a few insurance stocks. But guys, you know, I already asked you guys this once, but I want you guys to pay attention. I'm gonna ask you again. I want to know what subsectors you're looking at. I see Jimmy Bright says technology and semiconductors. So I know the SMH is the semiconductor, and we can throw this in here. We can always look at it, especially because Jimmy is always here, right? So we need to start keeping an eye on the semiconductor ETF. And I want to know what else, what other subcategories are you guys watching? I mean, because be honest, I mean, everybody is a different trader. Everybody likes their own niche. Everybody has their own biases. And as long as you can find that angle and take the right approach and find risk reward in anything, then you can still be a profitable trader. But the thing is I only categorize myself, or I only look at what I'm interested in. So cybersecurity, I've been talking about since the inception of AI. I said, if we have AI coming through, then cybersecurity has to be the follow-up. Okay, it has to be the follow-up, because you cannot get everybody out there way smarter without beefing up your security, because everybody's now has programming at their fingertips. That's going to make the better programmers even better, and hacking is going to be incredible with AI. So we need beefed up cybersecurity. Fight AI with AI, right? So I've been talking about cybersecurity. Beef Stewie's been talking about aerospace defense. What kind of subcategories are you people watching? Wake up out there. Let's go. Wake up. Let's see, Libby. I specifically watch the coffee stocks. Yes, just for fun. Bros, S-Bucks. Yes, I like the coffee too. And I know you like the coffee because when you join the Discord, you got the coffee, and I always use that symbol, the coffee mug symbol, you know, that's cool. But yeah, no, I have to agree with you, with that. Is there an ETF, guys, for, just the coffee stocks? I think there's an ETF specifically for coffee stocks. If you know that, shoot me that out there. IGV for the software. Okay, the software. So yeah, IGV, that's a good one to keep an eye on. We keep this up here as well. And yes, I have to say, the technology software stocks, which are the cybersecurity stocks, it's really shaping up, folks. You know, we showed the bases, the breaking, the V-shaped bottom. It helped lead the overall market. But look at this, above all moving averages, trading sideways. I'd love to see this thing get tight. What I see, if I'm just looking at this, you know, I would just draw it just like that, just to keep things really, really simple here. You have a basing breakout at 105, and then what are you looking at? You know, you're looking at your CrowdStrike, CRWD. right? Basing breakout right here, right? Here's the basing breakout already. We're already in it, we're holding it. And now we're gonna watch this base out, right? Well, earnings is coming up in just a couple of days. So best of luck to anybody who took that trade with me. I know Torque is in it as well, but we have to sell before earnings comes unless we're up that 20%. RBRK is another one that I took. You guys can see here, I'm up very, very well on this. I'll be able to hold this through earnings, but I'm only gonna hold my last quarter. So I have to sell, I'm already out half. I took out half right here at 20. And now that I'm up another 8% on this, I'm gonna pull another quarter and then let earnings do its thing, baby. So wish me luck on that. Robert Tanch is in the building. Good to see you, good to see you. Let's see, package software, Carl Burr's on it too. Heck yeah, it's good, it's good. But yeah, Libby, we're gonna be going over Bros, Starbucks. Actually, we'll just be going over Bros very, very soon here too. And here's Hack. This is another one. So if you like IGV, you'll like Hack because this is the cybersecurity specifically. So if you look at Hack, you can see here, guys, this is one of my favorite ETFs right now because look at this. Look at this, new all-time highs just in a rock's throw distance for this cybersecurity ETF. Now, of course, with CrowdStrike and RBRK and a few other cybersecurity earnings coming out very soon, this could change dramatically, okay? I'm sure there is a huge holding right here in Hack. Probably one of the biggest is CRWD. And with earnings coming out and all eyes on it right at that basing cup and handle breakout, you're gonna see that Hack is going to change dramatically with that movement too. So definitely keep an eye on that. And you know, just before we get too far out of the way, let's take a look at our earnings coming up here. Let me just see if I can't find it. Here it is for you guys. It's just on Earnings Whisper. This is very important that we keep an eye on this. And right here is CrowdStrike. After the close on Tuesday, you better be aware of what's going on. I think CrowdStrike is going to be a big one. Now, you might say, well, Dave, why are you talking CrowdStrike? CrowdStrike moves slower than what you like to play because you know I like things are 4% and faster. Well, I used crawl, CRWL. Okay, not nearly as liquid, but because I'm playing that momentum, I got in at a very liquid time, and now I'm just keeping a very close eye on it. I'm not in any panic to sell or buy anything. I buy right, I sit tight, and that is exactly what we're doing with CrowdStrike or CRWL currently. Now, Dollar Generals before the open on Tuesday. We don't really have much on Monday to really talk about here. Let's see, anything else? Oh, Dollar Tree before the open on Wednesday. Wester Bank. Oh, Duluth trading. You know, I wonder what Duluth looks like or if they even trade volatile. But we got Duluth, we got Victoria's Secret, Toro, Cracker Barrel. Oh, Lululemon's actually coming out Thursday after an AVGO. That's going to be a big one. Thursday for AVGO because Broadcom is looking very good setting up. So I know you like to watch those semiconductors, Jimmy Bright, and so keep an eye on that AVGO. And I know we were looking at DocuSign. We'll have to take a look at the stock because I know about 6 months ago, it was looking, about 3 months ago, it was looking really, really good. Let's see how it was holding up on this pullback. And then, of course, Rubrik. We talked about Rubrik. We own Rubrik. We already made over 20% on Rubrik. I plan on selling another quarter, leaving the last half for these earnings. So wish me luck, folks, because I don't really hold on to much through earnings, but as long as I'm up a very good amount, I will hold through earnings, and it's just a small piece. What up there, Geck? We'll go over BDX very, very soon. Oh, Quantum, that's a good one. Thank you, Beef Stewie. Yes, Jimmy Bright says AI. Absolutely, you got to keep an eye on AI. If you're going to stay dull to AI, then you're just going to be left in, in the dark ages because you're going to end up like my grandfather who won't even look at a computer, play a video game, no cell phone, no nothing. Not saying it's a bad thing, but what I'm saying is if you are a stock trader, everything is going to be attached to AI, just like in the 90s, .com was attached to everything. If you put .com, you were making money. For a little bit there, if you guys were with me right before Trump got elected, we watched the overall market get drug higher with anything that said AI in its name. Anything that said AI, it had taken off, and if it didn't, you gave it a week and it did. So with that being said, you have to keep an eye on AI. But now Quantum is another beautiful one, and I think QTUM is definitely one that we need to keep an eye on as well. I'm gonna write this down and I'll add this later. Thank you for that, B. Stewie. If you guys have not been watching Quantum, it has been absolutely rip Tater Chip City in QTUM. This looks absolutely amazing. Above all moving averages and a little extended, I would say, from this 50-day moving average. This is pretty extended, but now it's pulling back. Let's see it consolidate. Of course, after expansion, we need to see contraction. Thank you for everybody saying it in unison. And now if this thing can just trade sideways, let it pause, let some other things start to catch up, IWM small caps, and then once this thing cools down, starts to tighten, we can see expansion once again. I really like Quantum. Thank you for posting that in there. And BDTX, is that a ticker or is that an ETF? No, so this is just a therapeutic stock. And I'll just tell you right now, not to be mean, but it's below a 200-day moving average, man. I mean, I don't even want to look at this thing. It looks like garbage doo-doo hot flaming sack of, yeah, you know what I mean? All right, so that's your ETF and SPY review. I hope you guys love it. We need to get more subsectors in here. I keep saying that, but we need to get more subsectors. I like that QTUM. I really like that one. We're definitely going to start adding that. We went over IGV as well. And we need to add SMH as well so we can keep an eye on those subsectors specifically. Now, there is something that I always like to do because my boy does it best. It's the beefiest. It's the stews. It's the beef Stewie.
Oh, I see you over there. You got problems? We've got the beef.
Loke Doc says she's coming from Idaho. That's cool. Loke Dr. Fell. Sorry. Dude. I don't know why I said you were a chick. My bad. Loke Doc Fell. What's up, man? It's good to see you, man. Thanks for joining us. This is the Beef Stewie Report. My boy Beef Stewie has been doing this for a little while now. As you can see, his charts are absolutely off the chain, and so are the pictures. He puts a lot of time and effort into this. So if you want to give him a like, a follow, or if you just want to learn how to chart as amazing as this man does it, right there in the comments, you'll see I have posted his, oops, I did it on the wrong thing. Sorry, there you go. You will see in the chart, I have posted his charting or his Twitter right there for you. Okay, so let's take a look at Tesla. And if you guys know, I am holding Tesla. I'm using TSLL, the 2X leverage, and we played it right down here at this basing breakout. We're still holding it because it's above the 10-day moving average. What B. Stewie is pointing out on this beautiful chart that he has depicted just for you is this beautiful daily trend line starting to form as this ascending trend line is starting to move higher, forming a very tight line. So off of these bottoms here, he has pulled a point of control. And if you see where the point of control is on Tesla, bada bing, bada boom, we are squatting down not only right on the 10-day moving average, not only right on its ascending trend line, but also squatting down right on that point of control. Now, there's a lot of arguments about Tesla, about why you might think it's going to go higher or lower, but what I will say is it doesn't matter. Pick your side, find the risk reward within it, because it will capitulate soon. I can promise you that. This thing is not going to just trade sideways now forever. This thing is going to choose a direction, whether it's going to head down and maybe retest those lows or maybe make a new higher low, possibly, but then it will need to get tight again. If it does not, it will head higher rather than going lower here, and it will do very, very fast. Tesla never seems to surprise you about how fast this thing really can move. Thank you for subscribing, Carthy. It's good to see you. Thank you for that subscribe. I do appreciate it. Every single person that has been in here we're all just a good community. So you have joined the right show, and we do this every Sunday and Wednesday. So thank you. So that is Tesla. Of course, Tesla's looking good. We're in it to win it, baby. And we're going to hold it until my rules, my strategy tells me otherwise. And of course, I don't promote this too much, but if you're looking for mentorship, I can show you my strategy, how I do everything we can just sit down, we can chat for an hour. If you're interested in that, my email is davidworrell8@gmail.com. We can set up everything if you are interested. Let's see, Nut, N-U-T-X, Nux, N-U-T-X, Nut, I don't even know how to say it. Nutex, there we go, Nutex. If we're looking at NutX, this is in the healthcare. Now, we already know healthcare is looking like dog doo-doo, but high tight flags are what we like to see. NUTX is doing really well right here in this area, getting extremely tight. And B-Shui is also showing the anchored VWAP from this low. He's also pulling it right here because of earnings. And why are we pulling from earnings? On anchored VWAP, simply put, the volume. We want to know where the average volume weighted person sits with their shares, with their holdings, with their emotions, right? And if we pull it from the most recent large area, we can see it squatting down right here on top of that anchored VWAP. So that's a very good sign. If it breaks below that, that would be a good area of risk to exit out of this trade. If it breaks up above this, that would be a great area to enter this trade. Now, these are not buy or sell recommendations. These are my thoughts. They are not yours. So just keep in mind, you always want to find the proper risk to reward areas. And right here on NUTX, it looks like tomorrow we're going to have a decision. Quote me on that. And then we also have TOI. Now, I found this one myself, and these are the basing type strategies I like to see. And B. Stewie is showing it exactly how I seen it. I like this trend line that you drew out here. I actually drew mine out a little different, if I may. TOA, this is kind of how I seen it here, B. Stewie. I seen it off of this, like this. So I kind of pulled it like this, and then I seen it like this. Now, guys, we had a lot of questions. I think it was G was asking questions about, why sometimes I add the wicks or don't add the wicks, or why I put the bases where I put the bases. I put the bases where the areas. So I think this area right here is one of the biggest areas. And I could definitely see this thing on this trend rather than the trend that you drew, kind of coming back down and continuing to get tight here before it takes off. So that's my best case scenario. But of course, when we're looking at everybody's charting, everybody does it different. This is an art form. I like you coming off down here. Why, it's almost like now looking at it, it's like, well, why wouldn't we? But I like this this current trend, and I think the longer it bases out, the better off it's going to be. Now, of course, this is an oncology. The sectors aren't doing very well. It does not have good EPS growth. So keep in mind, there's already inherent risk in these, but we're only looking at this at a technical standpoint, not a financial standpoint. So it looks really, really good, and I really, really love the charting here, B. Stewie. So thank you for doing it. And guys, again, it's in the chart, or it's in the chat if you guys want to follow him. Absolutely awesome. Let's see here. All right, so I think we're all caught up. Now, this is what we're going to do, folks. I'm going to give you my leader watch list. Now, there is a lot of setups. There's a lot of, there's just a lot going on. You could really, it's one of those things where it's like, well, everybody makes money in a bull market, right? Well, the winner is who makes the most money, right? I mean, if you look at the investing championship, right? The winner is who makes the most percentage on their allotted account, okay? And that's what we are all here for. If you're here for any other reason, go bullshit somebody else. We all have found this, and we found this challenging, we found this fun, we found this interesting, we found this whatever the hell it is. But I found it because it could bring me more money. I have money, I want to make more money, right? It's inevitable. It's greedy, right? Why do I stay? Because it's hard. Because it's hard. If it was easy, I'd have a couple of zillion dollars right now and I wouldn't have to trade anymore, right? I wouldn't find it so easy. Just like, a video game that's too easy, you pretty much stop playing it, right? You ever put in cheat codes, you stop playing that game, okay? So whatever reason you're here, we want to make money. So we're going to follow these leaders. We're going to focus on the leaders, and you can look at whatever you want to look at, but we're going to run through what I think is the overall leaders in the market, what I think are the best leaders to put your money into if you find the proper risk reward trend or base breakout the way I trade. Or however you trade, whatever your new rules. So DUOL, we're always going to keep an eye on because it helped lead the market with Netflix. And DUOL is still holding way, way up there. You can see a nice pullback and a retest of that 21-day moving average. It's still looking mighty, mighty fine. More of an expensive stock, and I haven't found a 2x leverage stock for this, but 519. Not setting up just yet, but you can see if it does, right here would be your base. And so we'll see what Duolingo wants to do. B. Stewie says he loves this video game. Absolutely. Loke Doc says, just want to continue to be my own boss once. I can't actually work in my current career. Yeah, dude, I like that. And you know, sometimes that's a lot harder than people think, you know, being your own boss. But if you get into a rhythm and you enjoy what you do, it's not a job anymore. And I'm telling you guys, I absolutely love doing this as long as I cannot get too emotionally involved. And that's why we start canceling out noise, right? That's the speech I gave to you earlier. But Duolingo, looking good. Before we go to PLTR, let's look at NFLIX. NFLIX, look at this, new all-time highs just a few trading days ago, guys, and we are still above this 10-day moving average. Absolutely amazing. Earnings, what a rip tater chip. Earnings continuation, holding a 10-day moving average very, very well, only closing below it twice, but then the next day continuing much higher, looking very, very good. So congrats to all my Netflix bulls. If you guys remember, this is the last time we played it and exited absolutely beautiful. We got a lot going on here. Let's continue. PLTR. Now, if you guys were with me, I did take this. I took a simple basing breakout because I was not there for the trend breakout. So I waited for a simple basing breakout. It also was in line with the 5-minute trend breakout play that I know and love. And you can see here, we're in it to win it. I didn't take a lot of shares because I'm all out on purchasing power until I sell my CrowdStrike. I've got a lot wrapped up in CrowdStrike right now in RBRK, so we're gonna get some of that sold before earnings and I'll have more purchasing power. Of course, you know, I told you guys after the power trend, I'm going full bore. I'm on, you know, margin, I'm on everything. I don't care. This is the time to push. And, you know, if I hit my stops, I hit my stops. You know, I've already accepted the loss. You know, I've already accepted the loss, and if it happens, it happens. But right now, I'm pushing myself. I'm full on, you know, full margin, full bore. Let's do this. TDUP, we've been talking about this stock for quite some time now. We've been talking about TDUP, I believe, when it was setting up this basing breakout. But you can see here a huge push up, another trend break. Still too extended for me to want to take, but now we're getting another push up. It's starting to slow. We're starting to see a little less choppy action. It's really tight here. We can see this thing head higher. Now, I don't like the sales growth in this, but I just wanted to bring this up because I was watching it for the technicals. But Hood is a leader in this market, and I really would like to see Hood continue to head higher. What am I saying? Well, you can see the William O'Neill cup and handle right here. Let me measure the base here. Well, technically not a William O'Neill cup here as it's over that 30% that you want to see. Actually, let me refer to my little sticky note here. Yeah, you want it to be between 12 and 33%, and that's from my notes in the Bible itself. And this technically isn't that cup, but we could look at this, and why do I like it? The basing breakout. I've been talking about Hood for quite some time. You remember this base breakout? Well, if you would have taken this basing breakout, if you were able to take it, I was not able to get it as it gapped up out of my comfort zone. But if you were able to get into this basing breakout that we talked about here, you'd be up well over 30% on your money. You'd be out half of this after 20, and you'd be holding onto that last half right now. Absolutely beautiful with Hood, and I'm glad that we have been having this on our leader watch list. Jolene Martrina, what's going on? It's good to see you. Jolene, glad to have you in the building tonight. Dash, guys, Dash is absolutely wondrous. Look at this. This is where dreams are made right here as this basing breakout right here looks like it is happening as the 10-day moving average is showing an obvious area of support. And if it continues to hold, now I will admit this is pretty range bound here on Dash. I haven't seen many tight day candles like this. You know, take it how you want, but Dash is breaking its basing breakout area, and we want to see if this thing's going to continue higher. So if you can find good risk reward on that Dash, go ahead and find it. Let me know if you end up taking this trade, because to me, this is going to be a harder one to trade. Just trying to find the proper risk reward. It might be more of an intraday kind of setup for the longer term swing. We also have HIMS. Now, we've been talking about HIMS for a while now. This thing needs plenty of time. I'm gonna get rid of all this best case scenario crap going on here. But this thing, this gap down, this ruins it for me. I don't like that, okay? Now, if it can get back up here and shape up under the 64, great. I love the EPS, I love the sales growth. There is some concerning things with the news, but we gotta understand here, folks. We gotta understand. HIMS had a big gap down, it had some bad news. We need to watch the price action, see it shape up, but right now it's in no shape to keep an eye on it, okay? GEV, so this is Vernova. This is your electrical products. This thing is still ripping. Now we're going to keep an eye on it, but there's no trade in GEV right now. I cannot take this trade at all unless it's an intraday trade, and I'm a swing trader. I'm focused mostly on momentum. There was a simple basing breakout right here at 450, 447.90 area. As it broke out here, to me, it was already just too extended when it broke out. So I wasn't able to get this. You know, on this breakout, I'd much rather it be lingering around that 10-day, forming more of a handle rather than just going straight up. So CRWV, of course, we have this on our watch list. I'm not going to trade CRWV. I just won't. It's in the packaged software. It's kicking ass. It's taking names. Newer IPO. Blue skies, baby. You know, anything above 130. But here's the thing. It's very, very extended. I'm not saying it can't go higher, but what I am saying is I can't take this unless it shows a setup. We need to see a base or a trend breakout. If we don't see that, there's no trade in it for me. So honestly, best case scenario for this thing would be to do this, chop around for, let's say, 6 months. 6 months. Give this thing a long base. After this big of a push, 6 months. Let's say minimum of 4 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks. But let's see this thing base out and then show a proper risk reward before heading higher. But right now, I just can't play this. I just can't play this. It's too extended, too choppy. Went up too high already. If it sets up, it'll be a good one. But you know, this is the simple basing breakout. This would have been the time to take it, and you'd be up a monstrous amount. But I still wouldn't have taken this. I mean, it was too hard of a take for me, to be honest. It doesn't line up with my strategy. Plenty of other stuff out there that we've taken that is absolutely destroying stuff. SKWD, this is the leader in the insurance industry. Now, we were looking at quite a few other ones, but like Bro and Root, but SKWD has shown to be the leader. So if the ETF decides to start taking off, SKWD being the leader should have already taken off. So keep a close eye on this as the insurance ETF is really shaping up. Let's see, Lokdakfell, what is Bull doing in comparison, considering it is so new? Was just wondering if it all coupled well. So yeah, so we were talking about Hood, and Lokdakfell is actually bringing up like Bull and in comparison. So in comparison, if we look at Bull, you can see the big picture I got back behind here. Bull is creating new lower lows here. After all of this, we're just making a low, a new lower low, and now an even new lower low. So this thing has an RS rating of 46%, and it's absolutely just getting smacked down. So Bull is not one, if you're a momentum swing trader, Bull is not one you should be watching unless it creates new higher lows and gets above some of these areas. I'm not saying that Bull won't come back. Eventually, I'm sure it will. Bull, I mean, it seems like they're doing well. But regardless, when it comes to the price action, I can't look at this chart until it starts to shape up, new higher lows, and then gets above some of this crap area, okay? So that's just my thoughts on Bull. Of course, it could go straight up tomorrow. What do I know? But keep that in mind. Bull in comparison to the rest of the charts, like Hood or what's the other one? It don't matter. In comparison to Hood, Hood's your leader. Bull is your lagger. So I would stay very, very far away from that. Cecil is another one of your leaders that I have identified in your package software group. It's doing very, very well. Actually, I believe the Discord alerted me to this, SEZL, but absolutely beautiful as the EPS and earnings sales growth came out as a nice surprise, and we'll see if it wants to continue higher. MSTR, I'm getting ready to take this off my watch list, but as you guys know, Bitcoin's doing really, really well. And, if MSTR starts to shape up, this is the vehicle I've been using to trade Bitcoin. I've been using MSTU, actually, a 2x leverage of MSTR, which is already a leverage of Bitcoin. So it's pretty crazy. Okay, so let's look at Bros as promised. So Bros is looking really, really good here. You know, actually, I was studying this chart for a while. You know, V-shaped bottom, bouncing off the 200-day moving average, creating 3 new beautiful higher lows here with EPS and sales growth. The only thing I don't like to see is the sales growth is declining slightly, but it's still well above 25%. So Bros just looks absolutely insane. And you know, I've heard it time and time again, and I'll say it on this channel too. You know, they're really, really stealing Starbucks money. So S-Bucks, look at S-Bucks in comparison. Well below a 200-day moving average. It's just basing out down here. It hasn't even created a V-shaped bottom like most of your other stocks that are at least trying. You know, at least the ETF bio stock is trying and is headed in the right direction. Starbucks is garbage doo-doo. You know, this is in what looks to me definitely a oh wow, let's zoom way out on Starbucks here, guys. Definitely it's in what I would say is a stage 4 decline. I mean, this really is a big base here, so that it's arguable, but S-Bucks just looks garbage. Bros is definitely your leader in that coffee industry. Really like seeing that. MRX is another one you guys know I've been watching for quite some time. I'm getting ready to take this off the leader watch list just because it's not doing too crazy too much. Bouncing off the 50-day moving average, that's always a good sign. But this is what I intended this whole trade for, was this beautiful basing breakout. And you guys can see here, it did exactly that. If I can get my meter out here for you, I can tell you exactly. So you would have taken out half here at 20%, and then you would have closed out this day at 23%. So you would have made roughly 22% on this trade if you would have got the proper basing area, and then you would have sold before earnings, or at least a quarter of it, but you would have been stopped out the last quarter anyway. So regardless, this was a beautiful trade, but getting ready to take this trade off of here. We also have Rode. Now, B. Stewie, when he was charting this, he showed this right here. This was absolutely beautiful, but we had earnings coming up. It needed to prove itself. It did prove itself. Now we have a beautiful cup and handle. Let's just measure this base here. We want it to be within that 30%. It's a little bit more extended than that 30%. We're just gonna go ahead and chalk this up as a cup and handle though. As you can see, a beautiful cup. Here's the handle. I really think Rode can take off much, much higher. Just keep an eye on it. Has good EPS and sales growth. At least that's what I am seeing in front of me. Cup and handle, folks. Keep Rode on your watch list. Here's IONQ. Big gap down for IONQ. QBTS. Big pullback for QBTS. But guys, you have to understand, if you're holding any of these, you know, you've already taken profits because you bought it at the proper basing breakout, right? I hope so. And then as it pulls back, you're only holding a percentage because this thing is up. It went up, you know, 65, 70%. You know, you should have already be out, you know, half, you know, at this big gap up at 25% and holding this last half unless it closes below a 10 or a 21-day moving average. So you have to give it room. If you want to make big money, you got to give it room. You got to take profits on the way in. But yeah, Rode looks really, really good, B. Stewie says. QBTS is looking really, really good. It's just, we need time now to digest this. We can look at a few nuclear stocks. Now, if we look at all the nuclears, the only thing I really want to look at is SMR. SMR, it seems to really be the leader. It's really holding up well. I really like this. B. Stewie, would you agree? Do you think SMR is the leader now currently in the nuclear field? Or do you think that there's another one that might be the runner-up? And everybody's more than welcome. What do you guys think? I think SMR is the leader. Just me personally. You know, it's kind of a bigger stock. We get 11.56 million shares, 9 billion market cap. And, you know, we got EPS and sales growth. That's kind of where my argument is not only has it hit new all-time highs and it's holding its 10-day moving average right now, but it has some EPS and sales growth. Whereas the other ones, it's arguable, right? Still watching MVST as it's holding that 10-day moving average. So I like MVST. It's looking good. And I got a few more over here for you folks. Let's see here. Oh yeah, so CVNA, dude, amongst all odds, look at this thing continue to climb. You know, if you guys remember, I think B. Stewie had this pointed out on his trading platform. Last Sunday, we talked about this. Beautiful cup with handle. I'm sure this cup's a little deeper than it's supposed to, but you could have taken this as a basing breakout or a simple basing breakout. Either one of those strategies would have worked. Looking very, very good. Yeah, B. Stewie said that's a hard one. To figure out who the leader is in nuclear, we've been talking about it for, I don't know, at least 8 months now. Like, who is the leader in nuclear? I really think that there's just like, it's really a fight right now. I really think it's a fight to really see like who really is the leader, because one of them is really going to take off. One of them will be the NVDA of the nuclear stocks. Guys, I asked a question, can the market continue in its push higher this week? 35% of you said we're going to be bullish this week. 35% of you said sideways this week. And 15% of you said bearish this week. 15% just wanted to see the damn poll. Damn, calm down. Make sure you hit that like and your subscribe button while you guys are here. Check out my link tree in the description down below if you want the trading view like I have it, or if you're looking for mentorships, my email is in the description. You can email me for any inquiries. Let's continue, guys. ALLT, I really like the look of this. Also, we have some EPS and sales growth. I haven't done all of my homework on this, but this is one I think B. Stewie pointed out to me. BCRX, this is a pharmaceuticals. I just like the technicals on this. I'm just keeping an eye on it. Also, Dave, this thing has been kicking ass and taking names. Its EPS and sales growth is absolutely phenomenal. So if you're not watching this, you really need to keep an eye on it. Tanver Siddiqui, I'm not going to try and pronounce that. OKLO and nuclear, yeah, actually I do think I have that on my leader list somewhere. But yes, OKLO does look like it is a leader here. I think SMR looks a little better as SMR hit new all-time highs. See this? New all-time highs here, where OKLO, it hasn't hit it, but I have to agree with you. It's definitely one of the leaders. The only issue with it, and the only reason why I argue SMR is more the leader, is because we have sales growth, right? Where this one is not showing any sales growth whatsoever. It's just trading, you know, its EPS and sales growth, just trading sideways. It's not looking very good. But this also says it's a producer, manufacturer, industrial machinery. So does it specifically cater development of fission reactors? So this isn't actually the nuclear it's using, they're creating. So that's cool. So where SMR is also doing the same. So I see where you're going with that. I'm just wondering if this is going to be in a different subsector rather than, I'm just thinking out loud here. But yes, I agree with you. OKLO and SMR are definitely our leaders in nuclear, but which one is the true leader? Which one's leading the most? I think we're still in debates, but thank you, Tanver, for pointing that one out as well. Jimmy Bright said CEG started to do well in nuclear. Yeah, so this is shaping up too. It's looking really, really well. I actually wasn't aware that CEG was in the nuclear space here. Let me just read the description here so I'm on the same page. Engages in the generation, supply, and marketing of clean electricity and renewable energy products and solutions. The firm also offers wholesale energy retail products and services and operates under the following geographical segments. So I'm not seeing anything in here about nuclear in this, unless they're considering nuclear clean energy, but I don't think it is. But CEG does look very, very well here, as we pointed out, this beautiful basing breakout popping up here into this area of resistance, but it is looking very, very nice. We've been following this for a while now. Oh, and another one, Jimmy Bright, I know that you've been watching, you know, the SMR, and you said the semi stocks. You got to be loving AEVA. Guys, we pointed this simple basing breakout here a while ago. And yes, we did take this. Yes, we did make money. If you guys remember this, I fashionably messed up this trade by selling too early because I thought the earnings was this day, and I sold this after one day. So I took the basing breakout, and you can see that rip tater chip. I sold it out first day. I think I made like 8%. No, 18%. Yeah, I made closer to 18% in one day. So it was a good sell. You know, if you're close to 20% in one day, you know, why not? But obviously, if I would have held out for a little longer here, folks, we would have made a lot more money. But to be quite honest, this is completely my fault. I looked it up. I wasn't 100% certain about the information I got. Sold out the day of, and then, woo! But at least some of us made some money in there, so it's good to see it. Let's take a look at Groupon, not as the, we don't want to look at the financials of Groupon. This is a I have a bias against Groupon, but when I see basing breakouts like this, we got to talk about it, folks. These, look at AEVA, I talked about the basing breakout and how perfect it was. 3 new higher lows, a simple base, obvious and simple base, holding moving averages. Well, then we go right on over here at Groupon. Look at this. We have a beautiful push up higher. It trades sideways, new low higher lows, and a simple basing pattern that breaks out. RS rating of 98. If you didn't watch Groupon or if you weren't here on Groupon, these are the basing breakouts that we like to see. We've been watching Groupon for a little while now after it got up into this area. After this EPS growth, it's definitely one to keep an eye on, as after expansion, we see contraction. It gets tight and it heads higher, and that's exactly what happened here. Right now, if you were to be in this at the highs, you would be up 11%. Currently, you would be up roughly 9%. So looking very good for Groupon. Definitely one that we wanted to keep an eye on. Now, we've already made it to 10 o'clock. Holy guacamole. I got a few other stocks that I can bring up. I can chitty chat. We can talk about, but I want to hear from you. Let me know right now in the chat. Right now. Don't wait. Don't take any more time. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button. Put in the chat the ticker that I have either went over already and you want a deeper detailed into, or the ticker of your choice that you want to know a little bit more about. This is the time where we analyze the stocks that you are watching. So do that now. And while I'm waiting for those tickers to come in, the question was, because I'm going to end the poll right meow, can the market continue its push higher this week? That was the question. 36% of you said we are going to be bullish this week. 14% of you were bearish. You thought we were going to be bearish this week. Sideways this week, 36% of you. So we are even here. Half of you think, or at least 36 and 36, I shouldn't say half, I just said 36. 36% say bull this week, 36% say sideways this week, and 14 are bearish. So that's really, really good to hear. I like to see some indifferences. We're usually all on the same side here, so it's really nice to see everybody kind of spreading out here. I like to see that. So we're going to end that poll in 3, 2, 1. Thank you so much for being a part of that poll. And if you are just joining us, hit that like and subscribe. We have an awesome community. We're here every Sunday and Wednesday. We want you to be a part of this amazing community too. We also have a Discord, but you cannot join it unless you are invited. So if you truly, truly want in here, you will find a way in here. And I believe that. And of course, folks, we are here for you. I absolutely love doing this swing trading stuff. While I'm waiting for your tickers to come in, I'll just go over some of the tickers that I'm in right now. As you know, I took PLTU. This is the 2x derivative of PLTR. Of course, I was not able to get into this trend break here. I was not able to get into it, but after it went this high and pulled back, it formed a beautiful day trading setup here, okay? It formed a beautiful day trading setup. For some reason, I confused myself to thinking it formed a trend break, but no, I took a simple basing breakout on this trade. I'm holding on to it using the low of day. It's a little outside of my ADR that I wanted to take, but I'm holding this on for a momentum swing trade as it might capitulate higher. Very, very tight risks. I'm holding that. Of course, I'm holding TSLL. That is the 2x leverage ETF of your Tesla. And you guys know I took this right here at the basing breakout right at the bottom. So it's at the second basing breakout area here, and it's just trying to continue to hold that 10-day moving average. If we open up below, or I'm sorry, if we close below this tomorrow, I will exit the last half of my trade. I'm also holding RBRK. I've talked about the stock probably enough today, but earnings is coming up. I'm just excited. I get to hold through earnings. This thing's been killing it. The market loves this sector. It's a hot sector. I would love to see this, really capitulate higher, maybe go to 1 million so I can exit the rest of my shares. So let's see. CrowdStrike is the last one. I use CRWL to play CrowdStrike, and this is the 2x leverage of this. We took this beautiful thing at this basing breakout right here. Bada bing, bada boom. And I'm still holding it. Now, I'm holding a lot of it. And with earnings coming out, I'm going to cut this thing tomorrow because I see a lot of setups and I want that purchasing power to come back in. So with that being said, I'm going to close this thing down, hopefully for around 7 or 8% gain. which really takes the account much, much higher. But to be honest with you guys, that's not what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for an 8% gain. I'm looking for the base and trend breakouts that's going to change my damn account. I'm going to be happy with 20%. I'm going to be happy with 50%, like we've seen in rubrics, like we've seen in Teslas, like we've seen in a lot of the other trades that we've taken and shared for you live right here, right? But I'm looking for the big ones. I'm looking for the account changers. I'm looking for myself to put $20,000 into a stock and wait for it to move up, not 20, not 30, but holding the last half, 100 freaking percent. I want to make 10, 20, 30 grand on a swing trade in 3 to 5 weeks. That's what I'm looking for. None of this chump change anymore. Why? Because I can focus on my process. I have a process and a strategy and rules in place using risk management. I make things simple. I cut out noise, and then I focus on this every Sunday. I bring it back to the mean. We revert back to the mean. We go back to the basics, the basic trend, the basic fundamentals, the basic breakouts and trend breakouts. That's what we do here. There's a reason why we do it. It's to make money, baby. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe, folks, for more rants like that. OPRT in the chat. X, interesting behavior. We'll come back to OPRT. 1 second. I want to make sure we do this in order so I don't mess up anybody's stuff. All right, Libby. Yes, X is very, very interesting. You can see a huge pop here that was on news. Now, I could care less about the stock only because it's a slower mover and the EPS and earnings, the earnings and sales growth are not looking good at all. So I don't really care for this, but I will say this. If we zoom out, we pointed this beautiful, beautiful base out here in red. X did look very interesting right here. Now that it's broken out and went much, much higher, it's too extended for me. We'd have to wait for another move for us to be able to get in. But I will admit it is very, very interesting to see Steels Corp like this go higher. My best guess is because the tariff scares and stuff like that, we're going to see United States Steel Corp go much higher because they're going to be bringing in a lot more business since we aren't going to be taking China steel, okay? That's just my thoughts. I'm not watching that that very specifically. G, my member, my homie, my friend, my comrade, pal, amigo. I think that's enough friend things. OPRT looks awesome, absolutely awesome. Now, this is in the financial sector, which I don't know if we went over XLF. Let's just go over that really quick because the financial sector is looking boss right now, okay? This has a basing breakout top right here. Question is this a head and shoulders area where it could head lower, or will we get back above this 52 area? Well, with stocks like OPRT trying to move this thing higher, we might see it. Now, I don't think that OPRT is in there because the market cap of this thing is only 291. OPRT is going to be a very fast mover, so be careful. Make sure that you are not, or if you are, you're comfortable holding this overnight. But OPRT are starting to see some EPS, but no sales growth here, so keep an eye on that one. Now, the average volume for this is only 335,000 shares in a day. That's garbage banana butthole. It's not good. OPRT is not good to trade. So I would like to see this really start, kicking up before, get some volume into it before I can really take a trade in something like this. But yes, it's definitely interesting, G. Frog. Actually, before we go into Frog, let me bring up B Stewie because B Stewie actually had this charted out. Now, we looked at this. We looked at this here last week, and I think was it B Stewie? I'm trying to give credit, man. B Stewie charts everything. I'm not even bringing it up. B Stewie charts everything. Everything. He's got everything charted. So it don't matter if I found it. B Stewie has charted it. So we're just going to give him credit for this one too anyway. Here's your frog getting ready to leap. This thing looks absolutely amazing. We talked about this last week as the EPS and sales growth is absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. I need to bring this up on my charting platform really quick here. And I already got the alert set in my charting platform. So yeah, Frog is looking like it's getting ready to absolutely leap out of this area with EPS and sales growth looking really, really good. This is the technology service and package software. And that's the funny thing. I wasn't even aware about this. I wasn't even aware of this. Now, it is a more recent IPO, and it does have some overhead resistance in it. So we do want to keep an eye on that. But with the EPS and sales growth coming in, it looks really good. I like it. So thank you for pointing that one out to me. Let me bring it up. I think, was that Lokdot? No, Libby. Thank you, Libby. Let's take a look at ULS as well. This is the IPO ULS, and why I don't have this on my leaders watch list, I don't know. ULS has EPS and sales growth starting to form, and this is also in the packaged software, folks. Holy guacamole. This is also got a huge pop here on an earnings surprise, EPS and sales growth, 17% and 0.11% on both of those. As it pops up higher, breaking this basing breakout. Wow, where was I on this one, Stewie? Where the hell was I on this one? Beautiful basing breakout, pops up on EPS and sales growth. And look at this, trading sideways, getting extremely tight here. Extremely tight here. So now we have a base on top of base. And if you read the book, How to Make Money in Stock by William O'Neill, you'll find out that these base on top of bases are powerful freaking moves. So make sure that you are putting an alert on ULS. B. Stewie, thank you for that. Make sure you're putting an alert on ULS at $72. You want to be watching it right in that area. If on the 5-minute time frame we see capitulating volume to help push this thing past that $72, this would be a great stock to find proper risk reward in inside of this Darvis box right here. You can see, you know, I don't know if you guys read it. You know, Darvis, he uses these little box things, and you know, it's a beautiful visual. Because if you just take the highs and you take the lows and you just draw this box, here's your Darvis box. This is where the area it's trading in. This is where you would get in. You could use this as your low, or you could use low of day as I use for momentum trading. So just an idea there. But I really like ULS. It's looking really good. We're seeing a lot of these small cap packaged software stocks looking amazing. You know what? Hear me out. I have to do a little bit more research on this stock. It's looking really good though. I like its growth. I like that it's a newer IPO. It's blue skies. Look at the last time that we looked at this stock. We said right here, That's awesome. Yeah, ULS, man. I'm going to tell you right now, it's because I'm reducing risk size share on Rubrics and CrowdStrike. I am looking for another software technology stock to get into that I can hold on to for a while before the next earnings, and ULS is looking like the top-notch look right now. So this is probably one of my leaders right here, is this ULS. So thank you so much, B. Stewie, for pointing this one out, man. This right here is my gem for the night for sure. This is absolutely my gem. So thank you so much. Definitely going to keep an eye on that. And then UTI. UTI, wow, that's looking really, really good too. Universal Technology Institute, the EPS and sales growth even better than the last that we look at. This is in commercial services. You know what? I got to go back to ULS, and I want to look at, so the average volume is 1 million. The market cap's 14 billion. This is my stock right here. Well, how fast does this move, Stewie? Let's see, ULS. Oh, dude. Oh, I forgot to tell you, I didn't tell you guys, my 5 years of charting and adding different indicators and charts onto my Thinkorswim over 5 years, all wiped out on one. Oh, all right, I won't talk about it too much, but 5 years, guys, erased, denied. So now I'm setting all my charting crap back up in my Thinkorswim. It hurts. It hurts. But anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed tonight. I definitely did. It's got me set up for tomorrow. Help me get me a better understanding where the overall market is. And just before we close, let's look at the ES really quick. Let's see where it is at right now. 21,272. So it looks like we're going to, as of right now, open up with a small gap down, but still above that 10-day moving average. So wow, looking really, really good. Jimmy Bright says, good night, everyone. Thanks, Dave. Constellation Group are the ones looking to repair and open 3 Mile Island along with Crane Clean Energy. Very, very cool. Yeah, I was not aware of all of that. We'll definitely have to keep an eye on that stock, and we'll have to keep an eye on many, many more and the sectors as they start to rotate and things start to come in. Thank you guys so much for being here, and I will usher you out right after the outro. Peace, guys. Thank you. heart-filled thank you goes out to everybody here, but mostly my members. Thank you guys so much for being members. Norman, G, Carl, you guys are awesome. I really appreciate you entrusting your time, energy, and some of your money with me. It means a lot. It really shows that the things that I am doing is working, and we are getting a lot of positive feedback from each and every one of you. So thank you guys so much. And also, huge shout out to some of my OGs. Beef Stewie, thank you so much for being here, man. It's always good chatting with you. Zamora, thank you so much for being here. Jolene, you know I love you, girl. I hope you have a great night. Thank you, Libby, for being here. Thank you for being a huge part of this. Let's see. Did I already get Jimmy? Jimmy's always here. Let's see here. Torqued Up, thank you for stopping in, man, and appreciate you being so thorough and so chatty in the Discord. I love opening up my phone, reading all your thoughts and ideas. I love that we really, really share a lot of common interest in these stocks. A lot of common interest in our setups, I should say. But I think that hits everybody, guys. And anybody that I missed, really appreciate you being here. If you're new, hit the like and subscribe. We do this every Wednesday and Sunday. Thanks, guys. Nothing but love. Peace.